Greetings, guys. It's Fancy, and welcome to the 5th episode of Theories and Thoughts. I'm one of your hostesses, and I have with me.
This is Arnya, and it's the 4th. You're getting ahead of yourself, but that's okay. I'm gonna let you make it.
I said 5th, and I even had to take a minute and get the word 5th out, like 5th. Okay, but yeah. Alrighty then. So yes, our 4th episode of Theories and Thoughts. Thank you all for returning. And Anya, you have the news for us this week as well as the welcome.
Yeah, but let's talk about this. I was like, we need some theme music. Y'all suggest some theme music. Like when we first come on, because it's so odd and Fancy be looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm always looking for something, y'all. And I still haven't found that darn clapper. I'm going to find it.
Mm-hmm. It's been missing a whole week.
It has. But I moved, so you know. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to Theories and Thoughts. She just said that.
Veronica.
Hey, Veronica.
I have to take this minute and just say, I know my makeup looks extremely light. It's bothering me. And I did this right before we came on. So I don't want anybody to think that I intentionally did my makeup like this. But yeah. So back to you, Anya.
Fancy's being self-conscious today. So let's talk about this hair, how frizzy it is. So y'all charge that to this weather and not me, if we're talking about our appearances today. So you good now that you got that off your chest?
Yep, I feel so much better. Because now it's like I stated it. I don't need anybody in the comments like, why she look pale today or anything. It was not intentional, okay?
Well, okay. I'm just being silly. Hey, guys. So today in our You're Always Beautiful. See, she said you're always beautiful. Also, guys, Veronica will be with us at the end of this month. Talking about mental health. So y'all stay tuned to that. Thank you so much for always supporting us so much, Veronica.
Yes, thank you.
Today, we will be talking about, we have some things that we're going to talk about that is happening and just want to get y'all feedback on it. First of all, shout out to Simone Biles. Oh, this is why I need my clapper. Woo! At the age of 22, she is a 5-time gold medalist in the World Championship. She got a gold in team, gold all around, gold in vault, gold in balance beam, gold in floor exercise. This is her 24th gold medal.
Wow.
Let me tell y'all, at 22, I wasn't that disciplined. Have y'all watched her? I mean, yeah. One thing I love about her, we did post this quote today, and it says, "It's not out of cockiness. I've won 5 world titles, and if I say I'm the best gymnast there is, the reaction is, oh, she's cocky. Look at her. No, the facts are literally on the paper. I think it's important to teach young girls that." Thoughts on that quote, Fancy?
I love the quote. I mean, Simone exemplifies Black girl magic. I'm not much into gymnastics, but I do, follow her stories, her headlines, and things like that. So I think that it's great that she pointed it out. It might, to some people, a lot of people have been like, you don't even have to touch on that. But I think, especially when you have reached that height of success, that people do oftentimes think that. But like she said, it is on paper. I mean, it's documented. That you can't contest that. So with that being said, I mean, I guess it's kind of just like it is what it is.
I totally agree. And I think, as she said, we need to teach young girls that I don't have to minimize myself to make you feel comfortable. Get like me. And that's not being cocky. She is very humble. Like she said, I look good on paper. That's pretty much what she said. I look good on paper. And if I'm the best, I'm the best. Some people get, oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You can't tell me how to be when I've earned this. Right. I've earned this. I've worked my butt off to get this. So how dare you try to minimize me and tell me that I can't be this? Remember, this the same girl who was adopted. Her mom couldn't take care of her. And her family took her in Spring, Texas. then they had a hard time with the gymnastics classes and different things and her training. This is where she come from. And if you work that hard, I think you should celebrate that. And so many times people want you to, don't say nothing like that. No, who's to say that that's not humble? I feel you never see her out here in the streets acting up. You know, her little boyfriend was celebrating her. I thought that was like so cool because I say her little boyfriend, sorry, y'all, they young. They young to be my kids. Well, not really. But her boyfriend was the way he celebrated her. The way he celebrated her, I loved it. I love how he just was like, woo, yes, that's it. Like he was nervous for her. And I love to see that also. And I want to say he's a gymnastics, so he's into gymnastics as well. So I love that. Did you see that part, Fancy?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't see that point, but I have saw them before in the past. I will say that. And he does seem supportive of her. They seem like they have like a wholesome type of relationship. I thought he was into music or something, but I know he is like, you know, he has his own thing going as well though. So I think that that's a good thing, and it may be why he is able to be supportive of her as opposed to, you know, like being someone who is discouraging or whatever the case may be, as well as especially I think it's important to know at that age, you know, like to see that within them. I think that's a great thing.
Definitely. And speaking of relationships and having someone support you, Cyn Santana sat down with Tiffany of Love and Hip Hop. I mean, not Love and Hip Hop. Cyn Santana was on Love and Hip Hop about 5 or 6 years ago. But she sat down with Tiffany from Flavor of Love this week, and they discussed her breakup. And I love the fact that she didn't dog Joe, but she said that he had to leave for mental health. Now, on the outside, I even post a video of them dancing and just celebrating life. But I guess on the inside, at home, things was different. Some things I did note was that she's 26 and he's 39. They do have a son together. She's a beautiful girl. When she was on Love and Hip Hop, she was about 20, 21. And she was dealing with Erica Mena. And just that whole thing seemed opportunist. I'm throwing it out there. That's what that seemed like to me. And now when she got with Joe, I thought it was really nice, but the age difference, I kind of not shun, but I kind of saw that big of an age difference because that's what 13 years. What's your thought?
I didn't really like the age difference. Didn't really bother me. I thought that it was like I commend her for like speaking out on that, because especially when you have a relationship that's so in the public's eye, you know, to a lot of people, especially I even kind of feel like, and I'm not trying to shade Joe or anything, but it seemed like the relationship was also kind of like a boost for his career as well. So then when we're looking at his, you know, like his career picking up, and then the fact that the relationship seemed to be so good, you know, it has to be kind of hard to say, you know, to be the one to say that, oh, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, like, because I feel like there had to have been some pressure there, like, because now you're under all this scrutiny with all these people, you know, in your relationship. So for her to be able to still go on and move forward, you know, I really commend her on that. And then I do like the fact that, no, she didn't really seem like she was trying to throw him under the bus or anything. And I saw a comment that they said, like, his that was supposed to be like his response. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it. What was it?
Well, he said something like they hadn't discussed it. Like, they hadn't discussed the breakup. And then the way he put it was like nobody, or it was the way he worded it, it was plural. I remember looking at that and saying, like, why did he put it that way? But basically, it's almost as if to say, oh, we not really broke up. She just saying that. And, you know, I've been trying to call her, because he did say something like, you know, I've been trying to call, but her phone been busy or something, and I know she's been working, and I was like, that seemed a little,
Suspect.
yeah, like he might be possessive. I mean, this girl has gone on TV and said, hey, we're not together anymore, and you're still saying this. You might should have just said something, which he didn't just really say something that was ugly, but like if you listen to the undertones or what he's insinuating, then it's kind of like, okay, he's not dealing with reality here. But then of course we never really know, because again, from the outside looking in, we were like, relationship goals there. So I was a little saddened to hear about it though as well. But I do like Cyn. I never really watched the show, but just from seeing her online, it seems like she has a really cool personality. So
well, it seemed like to me, she got thrust into the limelight with Erica, however way she got on Love and Hip Hop, and they had their situation. And then, she's bad. The girl is stacked, and she's gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. And no telling how many men was after her. And then she's like, she had to leave for her mental health. I commend her on leaving for mental health. Sometimes you got to leave a situation just to find yourself. And I feel like she didn't, it could have been a situation where she had never known who she was. Or now she didn't say she had to find herself. I'm saying that because she said mental health. You have to find your center. Whenever it's mental health, you have to find what your triggers are. You have to get away from the things that's causing you distress, anxiety, mental anguish, and all those different things. So, sorry. So with that, I think that I commend her for that. Him, like you said, it seems kind of weird that he's going on record to kind of say, oh, we're not really broke up. It's kind of possessive. So maybe that's what it was, because he is older. He's almost 40, and you had this beautiful woman, and she has your child, and she don't have nothing to do with you because of something that you may have done. And it could be verbal, emotional abuse. It could have been all of that. She didn't say, but I'm just stating the way she was like, I'm free. I'm good. I'm by myself. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I think that came from that, because men kind of sexualize you, especially at the age that she was, kind of 19, 20, 21, when she was on Love and Hip Hop. And, she broke up with Erica because she felt like Erica was a lawyer. So she has her own mind to say, I don't want this anymore. And I think that's key. I like that about her. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that she didn't dog him. That's still her child's father. So many women dog men, and I'm like, hold up. At one time he was something special to you, and now you're acting like he ain't nothing. So.
Well, one thing I like to add though, just when she said that about being free, like, I don't know, that kind of really spoke to me, because it seems like, just from personal experience and other relationships, it always seems like whenever you can get with a person, and it may not necessarily even be the like emotional or psychological abuse, but that person's mindset, can be so horrible that, that you don't want to be around them because they're always negative, and you might be wanting something else. So even just that, like their aura, their vibes are bad. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I noticed you said he might have done something. I'm thinking just from the way he normally seems to be. I don't watch their podcasts, or not just I just haven't had a chance to check it out, but I've read some things about it. But just like whenever he's making comments, it's always kind of this smug type of something. So yeah. So just saying, he just may not be the most ray of sunshine to be around. Put it that way.
Hey, that could be it too. I first learned of Joe Budden from rapping. He was actually on Kelly Rowland's song. I know I'm a Kelly Rowland fan, and he was on her album, and that's how I first heard of him. And I liked his style. Never heard any of his other music. I don't think.
Pump It Up.
Pump, 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 pump it up. Yeah.
That's the only song I know. I think that was before Kelly, but I don't know. Because I was just trying to think like when Kelly,
It was Kelly's first album. And when he got on Love and Hip Hop, I was like, okay. And he was with Tahiri on there. Yes, I was a Love and Hip Hop fan for a long time. And then I just couldn't do it no more. It was the same old stuff over and over. And you just like, really? Really? And then that stuff starts seeping into your spirit. And you just like, why am I angry all the time?
Yeah.
My relationship ain't going right because I'm watching this fool.
Well, I don't really watch, but I will like from time to time. If it's on, then and I can kind of follow the stories just kind of from being online. If I know who the individuals are, because I don't know a lot of people by name. You see, you said Tahiri, and I was sitting here just. I said, "Oh, I was supposed to finish that." Like, and I
was like, "Was that her name?" I was trying to figure out, honey. I was trying to figure out, but I've seen him on the Breakfast Club and things like that, and I love the Breakfast Club. No, Charlamagne the God, honey. He's one of the journalists I follow. Him and the girl. Oh, I can't think her name. Like I can see her face from ESPN, but now she has a podcast.
Angela Rye.
No.
Oh.
From ESPN, I seen.
Oh, Jemele Hill, ESPN.
I love both of them. I love both of their
podcast.
Oh. Well, I haven't watched Charlamagne the God's podcast. I haven't watched it, but I heard it, watched it, whatever. But I have listened to Jemele Hill, and I like her. What podcast you like?
I listen to I like the Maddie James podcast. I listen to the Great Girlfriends, Confessions of a Workaholic, Angela Rye, but I hadn't listened to her lately, and I'm trying to get more into Black girls therapy.
I love Black girls therapy for Black girls. I love that one.
Yeah, sorry.
I love the Messy Table. I love the Messy Table. Oh my gosh.
Who is that?
It's from Proverbs 31 Ministries. And they talk is biblically, but they just real straight up forward, real raw about their mess. And that's what I like about it, because in Christianity, a lot of times, and one day I want to talk about that, a lot of times in Christianity, we act like we perfect and we've never gone through nothing. And everybody else is just heathens and we're not struggling now, when in actuality, we are all still a mess. And that's what it talks about. It's just that. And those are the ones that I follow. And of course, ours. I always listen to ours afterwards. I don't know. It's a habit now. So thank you guys for joining us. Tell us some of the podcasts that you follow and maybe why you follow them.
Yeah, that'd be really great if you could leave those in the comments. And also, because I'm looking at the time, just want to be mindful of that right quick. I know we have to get out our sponsor for the news segment.
Yes, ma'am. And we have a guest, you guys, today. So this news segment is brought to you by Blue Girls Turn Gold. Blue Girls Turn Gold is a national organization whose mission is to empower women. Blue Girls Turn Gold currently hosts 6 creative, valuable workshops to empower. Learn more below. BlueGirlsTurnGold.org. So Fancy is our guest. Ready?
Yes, she's in just a minute. All right.
Our first guest on our podcast, Spirit Fingers.
Oh,
hello.
Greetings. Is it Dr. Lindner?
Yes, Dr. Deborah Lindner.
Okay. So greetings, Dr. Deborah Lindner. Dr. Deborah Lindner is the Chief Medical Officer of Bright Pink Organization. And well, first off, welcome, because I always dive right into things.
Thank you.
But you're our first guest, so we're excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So now what exactly, well, first, I guess for starters, you could tell us a little bit about Bright Pink Organization. We've ran the risk assessment before, but since we're doing this live, just for those who are unfamiliar with it, you can share a little bit about the org.
Absolutely. So Bright Pink is a national nonprofit, and we are committed to empowering women to really be advocates for their breast and ovarian health. We are a health organization, not a cancer organization. So we are all about informing women about their risk and letting them become proactive advocates for their own risk. So we're really all about education. We know that it is so incredibly important for women to know their risk so that they can make a plan that's very personalized according to their own risk. Mm-hmm. And so to do that, we really need people to understand what their risk is. And what you mentioned, the Assess Your Risk tool, is such an important way that we do that, because we want every single woman to know her own individual risk. And we're participating in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our goal is to get 1 million women to assess their risk so that they can make a plan for themselves to know how they can reduce their risk of getting breast cancer.
Got it. So now, before in the past, do you all know like how many have used the risk assessment tool thus far, or how many have used it in like the previous years?
Yeah, so we actually a few months ago passed the 1 million mark on women who've completed the tool. And we just were so excited to reach that 1 million mark. But now we want to push on to the next level, because we really feel like this is where it's at in terms of prevention. Mm-hmm. You know, breast cancer is super common. Lots and lots, almost 250,000 women per year get breast cancer. Wow. So we know it's going to happen to a lot of women, and we just feel like it's so important. We would like every single woman in the United States to know her own risk so that she could make a plan for herself to help reduce the risk of getting cancer and reduce the risk of dying from cancer.
Right. So now tell us a little bit more about the tool. I know that it's, I like the fact that it's like more personalized, because although breast cancer is very common, or cancer is very common, as individuals, you know, our genetic makeup and so on play major factors in that, right? Like as far as hereditary and illnesses and family history.
So we know that 25% of breast cancer is caused by either a family history or a genetic mutation that predisposes somebody to cancer. So 25% of those cancers would be theoretically preventable if people had known that they were at risk and had done something to take action against their cancer risk. So the tool is amazing. It takes about 3 minutes. You just go through and answer the questions. They're fun, they're engaging. And once you answer the questions, the tool actually tells you what you're doing that's working for you, what things you could improve on, and it gives you the opportunity to share that information with your healthcare provider so that you can continue making this personalized plan, because we're not about awareness. You know, everybody talks about awareness. It's October, let's be aware for cancer, but we're about action, because awareness without action doesn't actually produce any change in outcome. So we really want people to take action once they know their risk, make a plan and follow it to actually reduce their risk of getting cancer or dying from it.
Right. And so I noticed that with your mission, you all said that you all were the only organization that focuses on like within a certain age group. Was it 25 through 34? And I wanted to know, like, was that age group more at risk, or just like the prevention, as far as like steps for prevention would be better during this time, during the 25 through 34 age group? 45,
actually. So we go up to 45. So we are really interested in that 18 to 45-year-old population for a couple different reasons. First of all, no matter what your risk is, you can take action to reduce your risk. So even if you don't have a gene mutation, if you don't have a family history, there are some lifestyle modifications you can make that will reduce your risk of cancer, like decreasing your alcohol intake, exercising, keeping your body weight where it should be. And so if you start doing those things in your 20s and in your 30s, you're going to build a lifetime of reduced risk. So we feel like in the general population, this is an incredibly important time to sort of crystallize your health behaviors, to know that you're going to make difference in your life and really kind of play out these health behaviors throughout your whole life to keep it low. But even more important, in that 25% of cancer patients who had a family history or who had a genetic mutation that predisposed them to cancer, if you knew about that early, you would take much different steps to help screen for cancer. So you'd be doing earlier mammograms, maybe before age 40, if you have a strong family history of younger cancer. And if you knew you had a genetic mutation, you'd be taking really aggressive steps with better screening and maybe even intervening with surgery or some medicine that would help reduce the risk. And if we wait and we don't know our risk until we're 45 or 50, we'll miss half the cancers in those women who have that genetic predisposition. So we don't want anybody to miss out on this incredibly valuable information because they waited too long.
Wow. And so I noticed that it seems like with each year you all update the tool a little more. Like, what's the difference this year?
Sure. So every year, the medical community puts out new recommendations, and they add to what's important in the breast cancer and the ovarian cancer world. And so part of why we keep updating it is that we want to make sure we're up to date, that we are giving you the latest information. Another thing that keeps changing is that they keep adding new mutations. So as science develops and they find more things that are causing cancer, we have to add those things to the tool. But another really important thing is that we have really discovered in the last year or so that there are a couple different populations of women who are at higher risk than we originally thought. So one of the things that our tool does is it continues to add to the body of knowledge about who's at risk so that we're not missing anybody. And one of the changes that I don't know if you're aware of is that we have found that women with triple negative breast cancers, so those are the breast cancers that are estrogen receptor positive, progesterone receptor positive, and HER2/neu receptor positive, they actually have a far higher likelihood of having a gene mutation. And we know that women who are of color have a higher risk of having a triple negative cancer. So they're twice as likely to have a triple negative cancer than their white counterparts. And so one of the things we wanted to add to the tool was to make sure that women of color knew about that risk, because we want to make sure they're not getting missed. Another thing that we've learned, the American College of Radiology just this year came out with recommendations that women of color be considered higher risk because we know that their cancers are more aggressive, that they're getting them earlier, and unfortunately, that the medical community has historically kind of ignored women of color and not taken them as seriously as they need to be taken. And so Bright Pink is incredibly committed to making sure that we level the playing field and that women of color are getting the care they deserve. And so I think what you're seeing in the tool as it changes is that we're just continuing to try to stay with the latest information on who's at risk and make sure that we're giving the information to people who need it.
Is there a way, like, for you all to track as far as, like, is the usage of the tool increasing within, you know, for women of color? Like, are they actually using it? Is there any way for you to, you know, be able to see that information?
So we do. We try to track who's taking our tool because we want to make sure that it's equitable. And what we found is that historically we were reaching a broader audience of non-color patients, so people who were Caucasian and people who were using more digital technology and people who were more affluent or in more urban areas. And so what we have done is try to actively engage with audiences that we weren't reaching equitably. So when we saw that our user population had lower percentages than what is in the population of patients who are Hispanic, patients who are African American, we started to do some active things to engage them. And we really are committed to putting resources toward this, because it's not equitable if we aren't reaching the appropriate population, like the percentage that matches that of the population. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we have been putting extra resources toward getting patients to be aware of the tool. And we are doing our best to make sure that they know it's out there. So we started a campaign this month called Hey Sis, and it's specifically designed to try to engage patients of color and to help educate them. We don't want to be pushy. We want people to be informed and to make a decision that's best for them, but we have to make sure they're informed. And so it's our job to try to help educate and to get that message out there. And we've been committed to it for a decade, but we are redoubling our efforts to reach women of color, because it's so important to have equity here.
And one thing that you mentioned that I hadn't really thought about before, just from knowing about the tool, is the fact that you mentioned those who are more fluent with technology. Yeah. I think that could play like a major part in things, especially within the Black community, though we're always on our phones. Yeah. What we're looking at or doing on our phones may not, always be the most educational stuff. So I like the fact that you all are, giving a bigger push each year, trying to reach the demographic that really seems to be needing you at this time. So is there anything else that you'd like to add about the tool, or about what the organization is going to be doing next, or any way that, others can support? Also, I realized the one link I didn't put in the crawler was for you all, but I'll be definitely certain to make certain that I put the website link in here as well once we finish up. Yeah. But is there anything else you'd like to add? Or did Anya have any questions? I'm sorry, Anya.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
We just really want to make sure that women feel empowered to know their risk, and then to know how to take action to reduce their risk. And that spans every skin tone and every hair color and everyone out there. Like, everyone deserves to know their risk, to be given that information. We are very aware that there's a history in this country of terrible abuse when it comes to health equity. And we know that there's some implicit mistrust of the medical community for really good reason. Number one, there's been a history of using people's DNA in ways that is totally inappropriate. And I think there's been a history of experimental use of patients' medical records, of their tissue, of all sorts of things. And we're pretty aware of that. And we really understand that there's a mistrust there, but we truly want to level that playing ground, because it's not fair if women of color are not having access to genetic testing that could potentially save their lives. And so we really just want to bridge that gap. We want to sort of help women understand that they're in control, and that this is their information, and that they really deserve to have a healthcare provider that they trust. And we're just working our hardest to try to help educate women and let them do what they want to do with the information, but to also get past some of those stereotypes or misconceptions about what genetic information is about. On our website, we have both the Assess Your Risk tool, but also Explore Your Genetics, which is another amazing tool that just talks about what genetic testing is. Because if you can understand what it is and be prepared for it and know what to expect and know what information it's going to give you before you even go, then you're better prepared to utilize that information as your own, and not be surprised by something that a healthcare provider is offering or asking, because we really want you to own it and to know what is it you're asking for and what you're going to get from it. And so that's really where Bright Pink plays a role. We want to make sure that we're making it accessible, and that people know what they're what they could do, what their risk is, and how they can better reduce the risk of cancer.
And I just want to say, it's like we're in a day and age now where it's people are taking agency of their life, you know, and like I really think that it's good that we know about this tool and that we try, not just the fact that we utilize it ourselves, those of us that are watching, but also to share it with others, you know, share it with our other friends, family, and so on. Absolutely. Because like now we're in this period where we're talking about healing ourselves, and this is a great opportunity to be able to really, you know, take action yourself, like you said, like you have the control. You all are basically, you know, given the information, and then what you do with it is really on you. So I hope that, you know, people will leave here tonight and actually go visit the site, check out the risk assessment as well as the genetics part, because I'm not too familiar with, you know, what all takes place with genetic testing as well. So I'm definitely gonna look at that. When I went on it today, I did not get to check it out then. I wasn't specifically looking for it, but I'm going to go back and check it out now.
Awesome. Do you know what I would love to leave you with is something that you hear sometimes, and I think we take it for granted, but truly knowledge is power. And we all want to be empowered. I loved your comment about taking agency for our own selves. And I just think knowledge is power. So Bright Pink is really about health information, right? We're just trying to educate and to like disseminate this knowledge, because you're the one who gets to be empowered when you know what your risk is and what you can do about it. So that's where we are. We want to empower people by providing that knowledge. So I hope everybody will take the Assess Your Risk tool, know their risk, make a plan for how to reduce their risk, and then Explore Your Genetics is an awesome way to learn more about it too.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lindner, for taking the time out to speak with us. And like I said, I'm going to put the website link in the comments later on. And also, Arnya did send me over the tool itself, so I'm going to share some stuff about it on our website as well. But thank you again.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you
for having me.
Okay. You have a nice night.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you. Okay, so again, for those of you who tuned in, thank you, Veronica. Veronica, I appreciate you always staying on. Like, I really do appreciate that. I just want to take it. But for those of you who tuned in, definitely try to share the information about the tool. I will be making certain that I go back and put it in the comments. I don't know if Jarmel is on, but if he is, if you could just drop it in the comments for us. I think it's like brightpink.org. But if not, then I'll come back and do it myself. But our discussion tonight was actually brought to you by our sponsor, Skin Tone Clothing. Skin Tone Clothing is designed for the music lover, and it is based out of Long Beach, California. For those of you who are into eco fashion, you definitely want to check out Skin Tone. It's 100% organic cotton, as well as all their practices are eco-friendly. Like, they're very big on the whole green movement and the environment. So you all can shop, especially if you have a boom out, and then you can also buy pieces individually, or she can send you to her retailer. So please do support them. And Arnya, you have the events for us?
The events. Okay, so we have the Success Summit, Purpose, Plan, and Prosperity, a virtual experience for Black women entrepreneurs, will take place 10/21 through 10/24 within the Black Women Promote group on Facebook. To learn more, purchase tickets, or learn about partnerships, visit the link below.
All right. And for the announcements, I got several announcements, but first, before I forget, I would like to thank our other show sponsor, Chi Bath and Body. And this month, they're actually doing like the Oktoberfest. So she's doing a sale on her tumbler candles, as well as on, what was it? The fall linen spray. But not only that, she has a new, let me read it to you in exact, because I don't want to think out wrong. Well, because it's like, but it's in support of breast cancer. So that's one reason why I want to make certain that I get it right, because all the proceeds from these lip balms being sold, it's the Berry Beautiful Dew Lips lip balms. And 100% of the proceeds are going to go to the Carolina Breast Friends. So She Bath and Body is a vet and Black-owned business, veteran-owned and Black-owned, and woman-owned, may I add as well. So Kim is the craftswoman there, and most of the products are made from goat milk, so it's like really good for sensitive skin. Kim has been with us for a really long time, so she's like family. So definitely support her, as well as like if you're doing anything, whereas you need like the little items for gift bags or swag bags and things like that. Like definitely check out Kim because she has really neat products, as well as she even does custom blends, which I think is really cool. So like if you tell her whatever your ailment may be, you know, whether it's oily skin or dry skin or whatever the case is, she can assist you with that. I know, especially like with psoriasis and what is the other one? Eczema. Like a lot of her clients are those who suffer with that. So definitely check out Kim. Also, if you haven't, we are now listed on Google Play, TuneIn, and SoundCloud. So if you don't have the time to watch the videos, then you can definitely listen while you're doing whatever else it is that you're doing, as well as we're going to be adding the podcast videos to the website. And then also on every Friday, we release this video on YouTube as well. So you can find all of that, find us in all of those places. And I'm praying that tomorrow I'm going to be releasing our new cover and our cover theme, because I really was like struggling with that, but now I have come up with something because I noticed the running theme there, and it even matched the mood and what all we're doing right now with the magazine. And last but not least, actually two last but not least, because we have a lot of things in like different booklets in production. So we have 2 travel books, one that's going to be going to the DMV area, one that's going to be going to the Atlanta area. And then of course they can also go to other areas as well, but those are going to be 2 of our main target cities because that's where those cover stories are coming from. So if you're interested in getting placement in those books, then please hit us up. As well as we just announced today that we are going to be doing Buy Black Friday guide, which is going to be a holiday savings book. So if you are interested in getting your brand placed within that book, you have until October 31st. This is going to be a digital book, and so we're going to be uploading it to our site, and our viewers can go there and download it starting November 22nd. So it's going to be right in time for Black Friday. And if you plan to participate in this, then of course it does have to be some type of sale or whatever it is, you know, some type of promotion that you're going to be doing for that occasion. So I'm really looking forward because this is our first year doing this. Like we've been talking about it for years, and this time, I don't know if you all have noticed, we just kind of been like, you know what, we just about to go for it, throw it out here and see what happens. And we did ask in our Instagram story. So if you're ever trying to see what we might be doing or what we're trying to test out, then go to our IG stories, or also I know they roll over to the Facebook, but we do a lot of announcements and quizzes and polls and things like that there. So that's a lot of what we have going on. If you don't get the newsletter, then please subscribe, because we are, of course, are also keeping you abreast of things there. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. Anya, did you have any last words? It seems like I've been just going.
Hey, I'm usually talking, so it's great. I would like to thank Shanice. She was our winner from last week. She got the answer right. She was the first one. Fancy's from Mississippi, Macomb. So I'll be shipping off her product here soon. I don't know if I made mention last week, but I'm going to make mention this week. Fancy had a birthday on Friday, right?
Yeah. Friday. Yeah.
And just appreciate you right here on the podcast. Fancy does so much, you guys. So much for the brand. I just appreciate you for your friendship, for being the best boss that you are, that listening ear whenever I need it, that person to get me in check at times when you feel like I need that.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know that you are very, very much appreciated by your team. And I feel like I can speak for Jamel on that. You're the glue. You're definitely the glue. You're very wise and always looking to do more. And I appreciate that. And I think that's what I love best about working for Swag Her. You're always looking for more, always looking to build. And it's good because it's your brand. So it makes me want to, let me help her. You know, I don't know if you guys ever worked with somebody and they act like they really don't care about their brand. So you're like, well, why should I care about that brand? Fancy is totally opposite. This is her life, 24/7. This girl gets up at 3:00 some days. We have a small but mighty team. It's me, her, and Jamel. But I feel like she does. Huh?
I'm sorry, we're hiring for marketing reps. Just throwing it out there because I'm ready to grow this.
Yes. You said marketing. We're always looking for marketing. We're always looking for brand ambassadors, and we're always looking for bloggers. So contact me at admin@swagher.net. I feel like I was going on and on and on. So thank you guys for watching tonight. And we wore pink for breast cancer. Since we were talking about that.
I was like, they can't see my shirt that well, but yeah, I did go out and find a pink shirt because all I could think about was Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls in that pink t-shirt. And I just be like, I don't ever want to be Lindsay. That is just, I don't know. I felt like that was the worst thing to ever happen to somebody. But yeah, so.
So thank you guys for watching. Come back next Tuesday, always 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Bye.